All right, I'm here, guys, with something new we're going to be offering in the store. And no, it's not this old Atari joystick, but it has to do with it. These are everywhere, and they're cheap, and basically they suck. You know, this is what I used when I was playing video games back in the day, Atari, Commodore, you know, everything. But they're really mushy, and, you know, they're just not the best quality. So at the user group meeting we had last month, September, one of the members had done a mod to this where he removed the circuit board out of it that controls the directions in the fire button, and he modified it and put some micro switches on it. And if you saw the meeting, I think I did a pretty quick version of it, you know, during the meeting. And you can see why it's such low quality. It's basically a circuit board. Oh, this is a different style one. Most of them have the switches on one side. I mean, the connections on one side. But it's all basically the same. It's basically just a circuit board with a piece of tape over it that has these little aluminum or metal convex pieces here, and they make contact on these great big traces. And so, you know, what he did was peel the tape off, clean all the glue off of it, and then soldered the micro switches on this. And so it got me thinking, you know, it would be a really cool mod, and it could really bring some new life into these old crappy controllers if there was a little bit more simple of a way to do that mod to it. And so that's what I did. Let me get these unplugged and I'll show you what I got here. Okay, so we got all our wires undone, and basically if you want to do this mod, that's it. That's all you got to do. You get one of these drop-in replacement boards with the micro switches on it. Drop it right down in here. Well, you got to plug in the wires first, and I had to write down how I did it here so I wouldn't forget. So you got your brown wire, it goes right on these little contacts here. White. And there's no soldering involved. It's already been done. And with the other one, the switches were a little too tall, so you had to actually grind off the some of the controller. Don't believe we'll have to do that anymore with these switches. I got much shorter switches, and the last one is twisted around the wrong way. There we go. And so there you go. And then I just push them, you know, to make sure there's enough space on there just right, and then it'll go right back in here. Just like this. Okay, let's see if we can get it back in here easily. If I could keep the fire button from falling out. It'd be a little bit easier if I wasn't trying to show this on the camera as good, but there we go. That's it. And so now, if you listen, you got very cool switches. So we shouldn't have to do anything to it. I'm hoping. If we do, you have to just adjust the amount of plastic that's on the controller part, and if I have to adjust it, I'll show you. I'll pull it off and show you. But we're gonna put this together. I'm trying to be quick so we don't have to cut video. I'm sorry, I got allergies, horrible. And so anyway, this will take an old cheap controller, which you can get these things off eBay for nothing. I bought some from Goodwill a while back that they sell on eBay, and I ended up buying like 2 boxes of these things. I can't remember how many it was, 20 or so, 20 or 30, but I didn't pay anything, you know, really for them because we might have to adjust it. I think it is touching too much still. Fire button's perfect. Let's test it out and see. If I have to adjust it, I'll show you what to do, and it's pretty simple. I'm hoping we won't have to. Okay. Check it out. Testing out all kind of stuff today, so I got stuff laying everywhere. All right. Put this back in here is number 1. Get my cartridge I had. What did I do with it? I have no clue what I do with the cartridge. Let me just grab a cartridge. Maybe I got one here. Yeah. It's a little quicker using a cartridge than trying to load up a program. Oh, unplug the AV wires. Like I said, I've been working on a bunch of stuff. So there we go. Is it on? Okay, good. It's on. So, let's see. I think it's pushing on it too much. Sounds like it. All right, so we gotta go back over here. So we'll cut the video. I'll take it back apart. So I got it apart. And what it is you have to, oh, well, this one's busted anyway. This, I didn't notice that, but it's busted. So that's probably what the problem is. But this will be good when I can show you anyway. If you see, I don't know if you can zoom in enough, but on these little pieces, there's a little point on them right there. Like a little nipple right there. And all you have to do is just cut this down. You can do it pretty simply because these switches are very wide, the tops of them. You should be able to hit them pretty easy with this. And that was what the problem is. I'll pop some hot glue behind this and hold it in place maybe. We'll see. We'll see if we can get it to work. But you can just take some cutters like this and cut this little nipple off a little bit. You can even cut a little bit more than that off if you have to. I say, you know, put them in and get it how you like it. If you want it real tight, you know, leave it a little longer. If you want a little bit more movement, cut them a little shorter. So that should do it right there. Yeah, this thing's busted bad. So look at that, man. It's split right in the middle of that. Pretty unusual. Well, anyway, I'm gonna put it back together and we'll see how it goes. All right, so we got it all back together. I hot glued that broken spot, and it's still not the greatest, but I think it'll work good. I gotta turn this down. But if you hear it, this is an entirely different controller now, and it responds awesome. No more pushing it really hard. I mean, you just touch it. The fire is so much better. Oh man, can't aim good. But anyway, it changes an Atari controller to an entirely different type of controller. So you know, check it out. It's a pretty neat thing, and you can find, like I said, you can find these Atari controllers so cheap. It's definitely worth giving it a shot.